Hey, boys and girls. Today we're doing lesson three, which is adjusting quotients. When we talk about adjusting quotients, it's really just us dividing with multiple digit divisors into these dividends and how to kind of guess what number to start with, right? So when we look at this example, it says a ship with scientific equipment is mapping the ocean floor. The equipment can scan 24 square kilometers of ocean floor each day. How many days will the ship take to scan 294 square kilometers, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 24 and we're going to divide that into 941. Okay, so 941. So I need to see how many times 24 can go into 94. Now, some of us sometimes have a little bit of difficulty figuring out how to figure out how many times 24 can go into 94. So one of the things that I like to use as a trick is I like to make an estimate in my head and say, all right, well, the first digit's a 2. How many 2s can go into 9? I know 4 can. So I would try a 4, and I would say 24 times 4. Okay, and that would be 16. Oops. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I'm doing times 4, and I see 96. 96 is going to be too much here because I can't be any higher than 94. So then obviously it's going to have to be a 3 because it's super close. So let's do 24 times 3. All right. All right, so 24 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Put down my 2. Carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, so then I'm going to take my 72. I'm going to subtract my 72. All right, so 4 minus 2 is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2, and I'm going to bring down the 1. So now at this point, guys, we're doing almost like a whole new division problem of 24 into 221. So if I was to use my same trick before where I said 2 into 9, if I said 2 into 2, that's only going to be 1, right? So they're so far apart. I'm going to say 24 and 221 are so far apart. I'm going to try 9 because they're really far apart. So I'm going to do 24 and I'm multiply it by 9. Sorry, it's not the prettiest looking problem, but you'll understand. 9 times 4 is 36. Here's my 6. Carry my 3. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. So 9 is going to be the correct number there, right? So I get 39. All right. So then I have to subtract my 216. Okay. So borrow here. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. So my answer would be 39 with a remainder of 5. So when we talk about adjusting the quotient, that was one of the ways that we had to adjust our quotient. Okay, and another thing when we talk about adjusting the quotient is we look at our answer of 39 with a remainder of 5. Okay, that means that it would take 39 full days, like we said before, okay, to scan. But then we also still are going to have 5 of the kilometers left out of the 24 that can get done completely. Okay, so if that means there is still more to do, it's not just going to be 39 days. Okay, we have more to do. So 39 full days, and then 5/24 is going to have to be another day. So if we're looking at how many days total it's going to take, it's going to take 40 total days. Okay, 40 total days because 39 full days. Okay, and then the 5/24 is going to take another day. So that means it's going to be 40 days there. Okay, so again, these interpreting of the remainders and understanding what it means and changing our quotient based upon the remainder is a difficult concept. So we are going to move on and are going to try another example and talk about another example. Okay, so here's another example that we have. A robot submarine is sent to collect fish deep underwater. The mission is to collect at least 2,150 fish. The submarine makes 35 trips and collects the same number of fish on each trip. How many fish does the submarine have to collect during each trip? So again, we've got 35 going into 2,150. All right, now same trick I used before for trying to figure out our first number. I've got a 3 here, and then not the 2, because 3 can't come to 2, so 3 into 21. I'm going to try 7. So 35 times 7, I'll try that out. That gives me a 35, 21, 24. So that's going to be too much. So you can try 35 times 6. So I'll do that down here. Okay, 35 times 6, that gives me a 30. 18 and 3 is 21. Okay, so I'm putting the 6 up top. I get 210. I subtract. I get a 5. I bring down my 0, and I do it all again. Now, 35 and 50 are really close to each other. So when they're really close to each other, it's just going to be one time. All right, so 35 can go into 50 one time. Now, if you need to check and be sure, you could try and do times 2, but I know 35 times 2 is 70. It's going to be way too much, but you could show your work there for that. So then 10 minus 5 gives me a 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. So that gives me 61 with a remainder of 15. So again, now we've got to interpret this problem. We've got 61 with a remainder of 15. Okay, so when we look down here at part E, because A through D is really what we just did. So when you look at part E, it says adjust the second digit as needed, then divide. Interpret the remainder to answer the question. So we divided and we got 61 with a remainder of 15. That remainder of 15, okay, we got to think about what does that actually mean, right? So 61 says how many fish we have to collect in each one of these trips, right? But there's still 15 more that have to be collected. So you can't just say, all right, well, just 61 trips, because then we fall short of 2,150. So in this example, that remainder of 15 is how many more fish we have to get. Okay, so it's not just going to be 61. Your answer here would be 62. Oops. It would be 62 fish on each of its trip to make at least, that's an ugly looking 6. Sorry. To make at least 2,150 fish. And as a check for this, guys, for the 61 remainder 15, you can always do the reverse multiplication. You could do 61 times 35 and then add on the 15 to make sure that that's going to give you 2,150 fish. All right. Hopefully these two examples helped you with adjusting your quotient based on the remainder. And good luck with the rest of your assignments.